What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today, I'm going to be showcasing a Pokemon that has always been on the cusp of being meta, right on the verge of greatness, but now, thanks to the Shadow Ball buff, it is one of the most oppressive picks here in the Open Great League. We're talking about Jellicent, the Water Ghost-type Pokemon here. It's very bulky, it's able to be very spammy as well, with Hex pacing to Surf as well as Shadow Ball. Basically, everything about this Pokemon is just so strong and so efficient nowadays that it makes it such a strong pick now in the Open Great League meta. Really quickly, before we get into the battles, I want to say if you're not currently subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. It helps out quite a bit, and I'd really appreciate it. But let's get to the battles and see what this Pokemon can do. Shadow Kanto Marowak into Alolan Ninetales. Okay, don't love this lead matchup here. Probably one of the trickier matchups I could see, because, as you know, the Powder Snow damage is going to add up quite a bit here, right? And I don't like this. I don't like this at all. They can outpace us. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to instantly throw the Bone Club here. This is going to get a shield or a lot of damage off against them. Looks like we do get that shield. And while they can't get to back-to-back attacks here first, Furret should survive one, and I can shield the next and go for a Swift here. It's not a great lead matchup, but we're going to try to dance around this if we can. They are at back-to-back Weather Balls, so likely going to see a second one thrown. Or we actually see them swap into Charjabug, which is fine. Whenever I see this Pokemon, well, rather the Ninetales lead, there's two things that I think could be in the backline. Ufisk is one of them, and the other main one that I see is actually Jellicent. And, I mean, obviously both of those aren't great into Furret, so that's probably why they didn't bring one of those in here. But there's a chance that means my own Jellicent could have quite a bit of play right now. I'm going to no-shield this and hope I can swap back into K-Wack here. If I can, that would be pretty good. Okay, or if we just get knocked out. I thought they might undercharge that. We should get 3 Mud Slaps, which gives us a full Bone Club here, which is huge. Likely we do see that Ninetales come back in, right? Instantly Bone Club, get any damage we can against this Pokemon, and they should be pretty close to a Dazzling Gleam, but they're not quite there yet. So we're going to swap into Jellicent and hope for no hard counter here. We've been in a bit of a bad spot this game, but maybe there's a chance for us still. Okay, this is looking good. They throw energy against us for some reason, and we get a lot of energy just with our 2 Hexes we've already got here. Gleam, alright. And there it is. We do see the Pokemon we were kind of thinking it could be, right? The Unova Stunfisk is always a very good core with Ninetales, but Jellicent here, up a shield, should be able to just outpace, go for 2 Surfs, and yeah, you can see that's going to be a 2-shot pretty easily. Just shield this up. Honestly, I bet Gleam does more than a Discharge, but I don't think that matters. I think it's better to just be able to, shield this move up consistently, force him to throw a Gleam, and Gleam doesn't one-shot us anyway. We should be able to reach a Shadow Ball into that Ninetales before they get a Weather Ball, plus a Dazzling Gleam. And despite the pretty bad lead matchup here, I think we're probably going to be coming back from this and getting a win here. We get Surf and Shadow Ball at the same time. Might as well go for the harder hitting move. And yeah, they realize even if they do get a single Gleam, that's not going to be enough. Shadow Ball gets the knockout. That's actually a pretty fun game 1 here. I'm kind of surprised we were able to come back from such a bad lead, but Jelly in the backline and even Furret on the save swap were both so strong here. Alright, next game. We'll see a Marowak into Scizor. Okay. Pretty neutral lead matchup here. Oftentimes you see Scizor, you think water types could be in the back, so we'll see what that's going to be. That means Marowak likely wouldn't want to fight whatever could be in the backline. 7. Could be a Trailblaze, but I'll be honest, I feel like they never Trailblaze here because then they don't get a second Night Slash off, despite guaranteeing the attack boost. How was that a CMP? Hold on. That should not have been a CMP there. I should have... No, I mean, that's probably good for me, honestly, to get the CMP, because that gives me an extra turn, but they must have waited a turn there or something. Alright, well, I guess I just do the classic Shadow Kanto Marowak strategy. Ground and Rock type damage is pretty efficient in the backline against almost any Pokemon I'd see. So, okay, well, that might be one of the few things that really can absorb the damage pretty well. I'm going to bring in my Furret here, and this is one of those matchups where not having Trailblaze is a little bit detrimental. But really just stalling this matchup out long enough here, and making it so I can keep my energy on Marowak for the backline is hopefully going to be the way to win this game. I wouldn't be all that surprised with a Bastiodon in the back, because, I mean, we've already seen Scizor Azu. Scizor Azu Basti is a pretty common team, but it could be just anything else, I guess, as a third. I want to build up energy, though, just in case they do end up coming in with something else, something more efficient for my energy to go into. But we're getting a lot of Swift damage here. Sucker Punch is resisted, but it's still a very strong fast attack, so it's adding up too. And at this point, they're basically in range where the next Swift would knock out. So they do end up going for the instant throw. It's going to come down to that final Pokemon here. I'm kind of concerned about a Jellicent as the third. That might be a good reason as to why they haven't swapped out yet this game. It's probably Basti. It's probably just Basti. Never mind. Nice, we'll take it. I'm almost certain it's Basti in the back. Alright, next battle. Marowak into Reginald Dragon. Alright. So, this matchup, honestly, thanks to the Vice Grip buff here, or addition rather to the moveset for Regidrago, it's not that bad for Regidrago, right? They can bait us. They can go for 2 Vice Grips in the Zero Shield matchup before I can get to a second Bone Club. And that does make things a little bit scary, where I have to go down shields. Oh, well, I guess if they shield first, that's also fine. Do I think they Dragon Energy, man? I don't know. I'm gonna no shield. I think it's a Vice Grip. Okay, well, ow. Let's get out of there. I guess I should have shielded that. I figured they wouldn't do that, but here they are. Full sending the Dragon Energy. Alright. Dragon and Steel is a really common pairing, so if we see like an Empoleon in the backline, I wouldn't be all that surprised. Or a Corviknight. And this is why Brick Break, I think, on Furret is a pretty good play, especially for this team. I am so soft to a Corviknight with my lineup. It's good into Marowak, it's good into Jelly with the payback that it has, and it's also pretty decent just in general into Furret normally. But having Brick Break here is going to round out this matchup just a little bit more. But what we do have to keep in mind is Payback is still going to hurt quite a bit, and Brick Break is not the best move in the game. So while I will do a decent chunk of damage here, it's not just going to one-shot them or anything. Like the Payback kind of come through. And I'm going to try to Sucker Punch this down, but I don't think I quite can. Yeah. Oh, man, that's awkward. I guess I let this go, and I just have to invest right now in my Jellicent here. They got the boost. Okay, that's not bad to see in the back. And luckily that boost doesn't matter if they swap out, right? So we'll see what they want to do here. 2 Drill Pecks will hurt quite a bit. And as we did see, 2 Steel types in the back line, as we were kind of expecting when we saw that Regidrago lead. Alright, they're at the move right now. I want to have as much energy as possible coming out of this matchup, so that way I can go for some Surfs into that Regidrago. And if I no-shield this, there's a chance I might just be in farm down range this game. But I think 3 more of these should knock him out. Yeah, just barely? Yes, okay. My HP is so low at this point. They might even just come in Corviknight here. They might even Peekaboo, I don't know. Yeah, they go for the Peekaboo. Very smart play. But I'll go for a full undercharge here. Try to get a Hex or 2 out of this matchup. My HP is so low at this point, though. I don't know if I have enough. Yeah, I didn't get the proper undercharge there. Honestly, the sand attacks... they would have come close to knocking me out anyway before I get the Hex down there. Well played to them. I knew my Marowak would probably be better used in the backline, but I was not expecting the full Dragon Energy lead. Like, the full send of the lead. Dang, okay. Alright, next game. Marowak into... Galarian Moltres. Oh my goodness. Well, this might be one of the worst lead matchups I could see with this team. Oh my goodness. I don't see Galarian Moltres all that often these days. So this is pretty scary. The only way that I can see myself winning is if I go for, like, crazy baits against this Pokemon and maybe somehow dancing around. Yeah, get a bait off. I'm just going to bring in my Furret here. I know this is not a great matchup for me to be in either, but at this point, I just need to get some shields down here. I still have a Fly. They might just go for a Brave Bird to try their best to one-shot us. No, they do go for Fly, which is really bad. Oh, boy. Yeah, this game's looking so cursed, it's not even funny. Because now they can fly us here. Ah, man. I don't know what to do. I have a lot of energy on K-Wack. That's like my one hope, is that maybe I can go for a Bone Club after this and knock him out. Maybe they let this go? Oh, okay, hold on. They do let that go. They bring in a Shadow Scizor here. And we we go for a catch. Whether or not this is a good catch, I don't know. But it's something, and I gotta give myself any play that I can. Don't boost? Okay. Oh, dude. I think, honestly, I played this game pretty well. The problem is they just don't respect, an Ice-type lead. Oh, man. That's tragic. That is so tragic. Yeah, I don't have any play. Don't have any play. Like, the lead wasn't bad enough. They had to have just, like, the Torterra in the backline, too. Yeah, we'll just get out of this one. Dang. Final boss, AJ. Oh my goodness. Decisive game 5. Against a friend, what is she using? Honestly, not a surprise. It's a Shadow Celio. She loves her ice type, so we'll see what she wants to do here. Looks like staying in is not, a bad play for her. I'm going to shield this up. I feel like if you're staying in here, then there's a good chance you're going to go for a Surf. So we'll shield this and see what happens. Okay. That's not bad. We have Brick Break, right? And that's pretty good here. I got a decent amount of Sucker Punch damage into that Celio, which is pretty good. 6. Okay, that's just a Psychic Fangs. I was kind of worried about if she fully built up to a big move here, but no. Interesting. I can Brick Break here. And, I mean, honestly, I'd love a shield, but I'd be fine either way, I think. We'll see. Get a no shield, alright. Maybe Celio comes back in to try to farm down. I'm a little bit worried that maybe Marowak doesn't have a ton of play this game. Interesting. Well, this isn't unplayable for us, right? Because I can bring in my Marowak now, and we can start getting some nice Mud Slap damage against this. This is going to be an interesting game. If she's on Crunch, my Jellicent could take a lot of damage here. If not, though, all of the charge attack pressure left in this game is going to be resisted by me. Let's just guarantee a shield or a knockout. At this point, I should win this game as long as I do get a shield here. I mean, a no shield probably wins it for us, too. Because that's going to allow us to build up with our Jellicent so much. Likely a Surf going to come through, but there's a chance that a Body Slam into an Powder Snow farm down could happen too. Just a Surf. Okay, WinCon, just get to 2 attacks here against the Celio. We know Celio only has resisted damage into us, right? Fast and charge attack pressure, all resisted by Jellicent. So we should be in a playable position. Just keep on farming. And if you ever see a swap out, just snipe down the Gator as quickly as possible. Nice, we have back-to-back here. Shadow Ball knocks out the Gator. Shadow Ball will then knock out the Celio. And I think we're actually going to get the win here. Despite a pretty tricky lead, honestly. Burt was so safe in the backline, and Jellicent, maybe not the best Pokemon into Feraligatr, but so good into Celio. Shadow Ball gets the knockout. Let's go. GG's, AJ. And with that, I think that's a 3-2 set, right? Let's see. Can't forget the friendship interaction, of course. And yeah, 3-2. Not a bad start. We saw some kind of tricky teams in the first couple of battles there, but still a 3-2 set. Not too bad. Cash that in. We're at 29-25. Let's keep it going. All right, next game. Marowak into Shadow Scizor. All right. Very neutral lead. Our backline is fine into this Pokemon, but it's also a little bit awkward. Interesting. They swap instantly into an Azumarill. The best thing about this, though, is I am so spammy on my Jellicent here. I can outpace the 2 Shadow Balls despite being down quite a few turns. And I don't get 2-shot by their attacks. And I still have energy on my Marowak, so everything about this is looking pretty good. Oftentimes you see Basti as a third with this team, but if that's the case, I don't know why you would have swapped, so it's probably just a second water type. Dude, no way. Who runs Hydro Pump Azu in the Open Great League? That's even better for us. So I don't get 2-shot by it. And it takes so much longer to reach. I mean, I might as well Shadow Ball, though, and take as little damage as possible. That's an insane moveset, though. They cannot bring in the Scizor here, right? I mean, I guess they could. I would not advise for them to do that, though. Okay, we see the third Pokemon. And yeah, this is looking pretty good for us. While this Pokemon is a little bit tricky for our Furret and our Jellicent to see generally, up how much advantage I have right now, this is looking so bad for them. Dude, what do they think they're going to shield this game? Like, actually, what do they think they're going to shield this game? They have a Shadow Scizor. That's insane to me. We just tap our screens. I guess they'll shield this. But then I just bring in my Furret here. At least I will at some point. I think I'll do one more slap and then swap. Because Sucker Punch here does so much damage. I have 2 shields myself. We just double shield, farm down, double swift the Malamar. Yeah, I think they've realized at this point, this is not a very playable endgame for them. We have back-to-back swifts. They're in range where one of these will knock out. And I would be surprised to see a shield here. Let's go. Okay, that was not a great team comp for them, but also, dude, Hydro Pump? Hydro Pump Azumarill is insane. Alright, next game. We'll see Marowak into Florges. Alright. This is one of those lead matchups where you'd really expect it to be bad for the ground type, but it's more playable than you'd expect just because of how much damage Mud Slap and Bone Club can do. And I'm going to go for bad timing, just because I know at this point I'm going to get outpaced anyway. I might as well throw on bad timing and get a shield first. Yep, and we do. 8. Alright. So they are at 3 after this Chilling Water, unless they Trailblaze us, which I would be very surprised about, but they actually do. Okay, they do not expect me to throw on alignment every single time. This is funny. They're at 7, so they do have a potential Trailblaze. Or, like, man, okay, I'm going to swap here. I can't let them ramp up and farm me down. They likely go for a Chilling Water. But at this point, I can survive one pretty comfortably. Got another one now. But they bank it. And honestly, baiting out a Charger Bug is not bad for our odds of winning this game. We do have to keep in mind they banked a Chilling Water or a Trailblaze, whatever they want to throw. Alright. We attempt to CMP to try to get our damage off more efficiently there, but we actually end up letting a sneak happen, which is not the best play of my life, but, you know, it's not bad either. Because we still outpace here before they can farm us down, and it just guarantees that I'd be able to get something out of my guy there. There we go, and we catch an X-Scissor on our Jellicent, which means now we don't have to shield this. Unless they, like, for some reason went for a discharge, which would be crazy. They'll get a second move off, but I'll get so much energy from this Hex down. So we shield this up, we Hex down, and we should be in a decent spot. Now, they could come back in with that Florges here and bait us with a Chilling Water. Which is almost exactly what we're going to see happen. But I still have my Marowak around to be able to swap and clear a debuff. I also still have access to a lot of energy on my Jellicent. So I'll go for the overfarm here. Surf should get the knockout now. And whatever's in the backline is going to have to survive a Shadow Ball, a Surf, maybe a Bone Club as well. What do we see? I wouldn't be all that surprised with the Corviknight as the final Pokemon, which honestly would be a little bit scary. Doom? Okay. I'm debuffed. Believe it or not. And that is not great. Okay. But they do that. I think I survive a move here from this Gastro. So I'm just going to swap out, clear my debuff, and hope they're not on Earth Power. If Water Pulse knocks me out, which it could be close to, then I lose this game, but I lose either way. Water Pulse? Jellicent's just too bulky. We survive. We got the Mud Slap damage against him, and we cleared our debuff. This should be enough now, right? If it's not, it might be a Simul, but it is enough. Let's go. Dude, that was a tricky game. I'm happy we just won that one. Alright, next opponent. Marowak into Shadow Drapion. Okay, well, I was just thinking about how I hadn't seen too many good leads. This is definitely a good lead matchup here. Is this Astonish? It is. Okay. I want to keep Switch if I can here this game. 7. Do they Leaf Storm us? I'm going to shield to play it safe. They Weather Ball, so probably shouldn't have shielded that. 8. So they're at 4 right now. I know I wouldn't get one shot on for it by a Leaf Storm, but it would do so much damage that I just prefer not to deal with that. I'm going to Brick Break here just to make sure if they do let this go, like I get a knockout, and if they shield, then it's going to make it so I can just farm down. Nice. I'm going to shield. Dude! Okay, guess I shouldn't have. But I mean, they don't get a second move anyway, so we're fine. I don't understand that play. That's crazy by them. We'll Brick Break here, because I don't outpace to 2 moves anyway. But I might as well just debuff them and get as much damage as possible. They're at 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. Okay, they have so much energy. They have a crunch here after one more poison attack. Well, they're at 100 energy, rather, after another one. Oh my goodness, this is huge. This is huge. We got 2 Mud Slaps to sneak through. Which means I don't think this next one knocks out, but at least my K-Whack has crippled this Drapion. They do survive on 1, which is not amazing, but we got rid of a Ludicolo as well as a Drapion. If the final Pokemon is even remotely weak to Jellicent or Furret, I should be in a pretty good spot. I'll wait down my switch clock here. That way I should be able to swap out if I need to. Okay, let's go. That might be one of the best Pokemon I could see here. You resist ice and fighting, so there's just nothing that thing could do. Let's go. Next battle. See Marowak into Shadow Scizor. Okay, pretty neutral lead matchup here. But it's always a little bit dicey on if they go for a Night Slash and they get a boost. We'll see. We're at 7 right now. So 2 past the Night Slash, or at the Trailblaze if they want to throw that. But I think Trailblaze is a misplay to go for, because then I just 1-shield farm down. And yeah, they go for the Night Slash. 9. So they're at their next move here after 1 more Bullet Punch. Unfortunately, can't quite get that full 2-shield farm down, or rather 1-shield farm down. I have to shield twice. But I think that's worth it. Because at this point, I'll have so much energy here on my Marowak that hopefully it will be helpful against whatever might be in the back. We'll just swap here. I have a better answer to a Diggersby, right? No reason to stay in. They're at 7 now, and I still have all of my energy on my Marowak available to me. Brick Break first, just to guarantee as much damage as we can against them before a potential debuff could come through against us. And right now, they are at 7, so they're at the Scorching Sands, but they'll be dry after this. So 6 away from their next attack. They can knock us out here with the Scorching Sands, so that is a little bit sad. But because they either take a lot of damage here, or maybe I get a shield. I'd love a shield, honestly. No. They do let that go. But that's fine, I think. Marowak is still around. It's still got the energy on it that we can use against whatever their final Pokemon might be. And we'll see what's in the back. Okay. It's their own Jellicent, which is honestly a little bit scary. But I think it's playable. I need to go for... Oh, well, GG. I think that's just game, right? You probably shouldn't have shielded the first Bone Club. That's going to guarantee that I can land a Shadow Ball now. I'm kind of surprised they shielded the first. They didn't even make me throw a second. They likely would have had to shield the second, which would not have been great for them, because then they're in a spot where I think I would still get a Shadow Ball off, but like they would have had more energy, which I think would have helped them quite a bit. All right, their win con is that they get a knockout in 3 quick attacks here. Okay, they do, but now they need to survive a Mud Slap. And they don't. Okay, that was dicey. Still, even with how that was playing out, but we'll take it. Stone Collection, really good battler from Europe here, rounding out the final set, the final game of the set, that is. And we see a Shadow Talonflame in the lead. Pokemon that I definitely don't want to see here on my Marowak, but I can bring in my Furt and hopefully have some play into. I'm just going to overfarm here. That's kind of tragic, actually. This is exactly where having access to Trailblaze would be so nice. But a really smart call from him, coming in with his Ufisk. Maybe... We'll see how we can play this out. I actually think I might be able to swap here into my Marowak in a second and save some energy, which would be pretty nice if possible. Because it's not like Marowak doesn't have some play. Nice. We do get the swap out just barely. We catch a Mud Bomb, which honestly, not that important to be able to do, but we'll take it. Alright. I mean, my Mud Slap damage is going to add up here. With that said, I'm not going to shield a Flame Charge. We survive that. We get a Bone Club through. This game's going to get so awkward, though. We get a shield, makes sense. I just need my Jellicent to pop off this game. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know if it's going to. I don't know if it's going to have what it takes. Ufisk is still around, but they're pretty low at this point. Dude, Talonflame is such a menace. Luckily, they're completely dry now, so 3 more Incinerates away from the next move. But we'll see what we can do. Nice, we're at back-to-back here, so if we get a shield, we just knock him out. I still have a Swift on my Furret as well. So that's kind of cool, I guess. They do let that go, makes sense. Please show me an Annihilate or something crazy good for me. That is not an Annihilate at all. Why? why is it this? They almost had a chance here this game. Not being on Trailblaze actually kind of costing us. I could have gone for a catch there. He let me potentially catch. Thought I was at back-to-back, I guess. That's so sad. Honestly, I think I played this one well. That's just, that is such a tricky team comp to deal with, especially without Trailblaze on for it. But that's fine. 4-1 is never something to complain about. Cash this in. What does that put us up to? 29.98. Oh my goodness. That is pretty high. It's pretty safe to say here that Jellicent is going to be here to stay unless they ever nerf Shadow Ball again, but normally they don't go back on buffs too quickly. I'd imagine that Jellicent here is going to be meta for quite some time. It's a fun Pokemon to use. It's not necessarily hard to counter, but if your opponents are not ready for it, it is able to put in so much work. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.